Hi AJ, lovely to meet up with you again on Sunday and do some further work on your game. Just a quick recap on the key points of the session. First of all, we look at it at the start of your session. First thing we're noticing here is from face on, during the transition from P4 to P6, there's a definite move back. As you're coming into the golf ball, you can see the head moving back of what it was set up. Right shoulder dropping down a little bit too much, left shoulder working up a little bit too quickly. Club getting too much underplane at that point. We look at it from down the line. When viewed from down the line, first thing we see is we've still got that roll behind, so that third accumulator's working a little bit too quickly on the way back. Too much roll, not enough set. Key thought to improve that is to keep the back of the glove facing the target from P1 to P2. That's going to control the rate at which that third accumulator rotates during the early part of your swing. Also at the top of the backswing, we're seeing the elbows divide a little bit. Now that's something we didn't cover on Sunday, but on reflection and giving some thought to what you worked on down at the Bedfordshire, that was one thing that Andy was discussing with you. You can see from P1 to P2, the elbows do start to divide a little bit. So put a little bit more emphasis on pinching the elbows together and keeping the arms straight from P1 certainly to P3. It's going to help again with the roll in the club on the inside. We just look a little bit at that from face on. We can see that as we take the club back, the elbows start to divide, the right arm starts to fold a little bit too quickly, and if we're not careful, we run the risk of losing pressure point 2, so the pressure point between the right hand and the thumb by the time we get to P3. So we've got to be careful that the elbows don't divide a little bit too much during the takeaway. So thoughts on the way back: keep the back of the gloved hand facing the target from P1 to P2, keep the elbows together and keep the arms straight from P2 to P3. As we make the move down, we translate the centre back a little bit, right shoulder drops underneath us, we get very much underplane at that point, club way behind the hands, and from there all we're going to do is hit a lot of push shots, a lot of heavy shots and a lot of overdraws. So the key thoughts during your session were on the downswing to try and feel like from the top we were going to move more down and forward. So get the left knee moving forward, keeping the left shoulder down a little bit longer. As a result, we don't get the upper centre translating back quite as much. We get a release point, which is a little bit nearer to the back of the ball. As you can see there at P6, we just take a line down from the sort of back of the left hand or the butt of the golf club. We're now a little bit nearer that ball, so the circumference of the swing has shortened a little bit, so that's going to help with a heavy shot. The movement of the left shoulder down, or keeping the left shoulder down as the left knee moves forward, also gets the right shoulder getting back into flexion a little bit more. Just going to play this one back a little bit. So as a result, the club's not quite as underplane at that point. It started to turn the corner just a touch better at P6. So still a little bit too much from the inside, but not as much as before. Also, there's much less rotation of the club face coming through the hitting area. You can see here that we've got a real wrap over of the club face. Whereas here, we've got a much more controlled release of the club face. Good strong impact position. Coming up and out of this one just a fraction. Moving back as we come through. Here, continuously moving forward. Just let the elbows divide a little bit on that one. Good strong finish. Having to work forward from here. to the finish on this one. So not quite getting the weight through. Hip centres a little bit more forward here. Than we're seeing on this one. So a little bit more linear movement in the downswing, which is controlling the rate of closure on the club face. So key thoughts in the takeaway: keep the back of the gloved hand facing the target from P1 to P2. As you go from P2 to P3, really feel that the arms stay straight and the elbows stay close together. And then from P4 to P6, keep moving that left knee forward, keeping the left shoulder down, and then continuing through to a nice balanced finish. Again, trying to feel like we're hitting a lot of shots, keeping the arms straight on the way through to continue the extension on the through swing. Good luck with it. I look forward to working with you again in the coming months. Well done.